this afternoon. No, the show is still much loved, so we sent Alex Riley for a trip down memory lane, or Hockey Street to its friends.
Perfect.
Lots of moth parts, cracked toys, 2 miles and miles of carpet tiles.
This is Chapel Market in North London, which featured in the opening titles, and like all the other locations in Only Fools and Horses, isn't actually anywhere near Peckham. But it looks like the perfect place to go in search of some real-life Del Boys.
Del Boy sheepskins here, look! Leo's boutique, have a look!
All originals, $1.99. Take the collie and give us your lolly.
Of course, one of the most memorable aspects of this series was Del Boy's many catchphrases.
Rodney, you plonger.
And Munch too, my son.
It's off the back of a lorry, it works 100%.
Bon Marsh.
Lovely jubbly.
But more than just the catchphrases and locations, it was the brilliantly comic situations that the writer and creator John Sullivan put the Trotters in that makes the series so unforgettable.
He goes into a bar with Trigger, sees some women, he's trying to impress them, he walks up towards the bar, he's transfixed on the ladies.
I think we're on a winner here, Tree. All right? Play it nice and cool, son. Nice and cool, you know what I mean?
He's completely blown his chances. It's just typical, classic, isn't it? So even though he lives in a council flat, he can still pull a nice salt.
Yeah.
That's a nice dream as well, because it's not really true in reality. That geezer in a council flat can't really pull a nice salt in a house.
Of course you can.
Nah.
Posh birds love a bit of rough.
They love a bit of rough, but do they marry them?
What's happening?
I have the faintest idea.
Every time you watch it, there's just bits you think you must have missed it when you've seen it before. It's just still very funny.
Such hilarious moments helped Only Fools and Horses become the most watched sitcom of all time. In 1996, it got 24 million viewers. That's almost 40% of the British population. Kushti! It's safe to say that Only Fools and Horses is still as popular as it's ever been. Take it away, boys!
God bless Hookey Street.
Viva Hockey Street.
Long live Hookey Street. Magnifique Hookey Street. Magnifique Hookey Street. Hookey Street. Hookey Street.
Put your back into it!
Hookey Street. Hookey Street.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
And the car really did break down. Honestly.
Make it happen. Thanks, Alex, as well, for that. Well, David, is it fair to say that the success of Only Fools and Horses was mostly down to the fact that people just genuinely really cared about the characters? And I mean, John Sullivan's writing was probably as much about the tragedy as it was about the comedy.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right that, as I was saying earlier, that the audience began to love the characters, each individual character, but the most important part of the whole thing was John Sullivan. His ability to write for those characters. He came from that part of the world. I mean, he was brought up in Peckham, but the people that he met, he brought into the friends of his that he knew, he brought into Fools and Horses, but he was just quite a genius at writing. He wrote every single one of those on himself, one man. It's unbelievable. You couldn't do that in America. America's, you know, you have dozens of writers, but that was, he just managed to do it.
And in the makeup room earlier, you told us a lovely story about what happened when the original grandad, Leonard Pierce, died.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, what happened was that we were filming. We were already in the middle of filming, and bless him, poor old Leonard, he fell down the stairs at home and had a heart attack, and unfortunately he died. And we stopped filming, and we just didn't know what to do. And we went to see the heads of BBC at the time, and they were so desperate for us to continue that they said, well, we'll get a look-alike and carry on. And we said, no, we couldn't do this. And John Sullivan was particularly strong about this. And he said, I remember him saying at the meeting, he said, look, we didn't want Leonard to die, Grandad. Nobody wants anyone in their family to die, and we certainly don't. So he said, I'm going to write the episode, about the family as loss as Grandad, and I'm going to do it out of respect for Leonard, because we loved him. And so John went home, and within a week, back came the script. But the magic of Sullivan, he could not stop himself from making some wonderful gags, which he achieved. And my favourite one, I think we will all remember, is that I took the hat, Leonard's hat, off the front of the car and gave it to Rodney, and I said, Rodney, you throw Grandad's hat into the grave, which he did. And we were all very emotional and upset. And then, as we left, the priest came out and said, "Has anybody seen my hat? It was on the front."
That was genius, isn't it? I mean, he draws you right. It's like a fisherman, isn't it? And he goes, right, I'm going to hit you over the head now.
Yes.
Fantastic. Great stories. Been telling us these stories all afternoon. Real treat. Time now to check in with the choir who will be taking on the Scottish leg of our Around the Country caroling. Hello to the Kelvin Choir in Glasgow. Jenny Cunningham, are you there?
Hello, I am Chris.
Can you confirm you're the choir master?
I am indeed.
And can you beat Northern Ireland's 137 years together as a choir?
Well, unfortunately not, because we've only been together for 3 years.
Oh, right.
It doesn't matter. Lovely bit of tinsel there on your top.
Still in nappies.
Good effort.
Right. So who have you performed for in the past, though? Pretty impressive.
Well, Chris, we will perform to anyone who wants to come and listen to us. And I was noticing there, we are a non-audition community choir. I see you're wearing a red jumper. Feel free to join us anytime you like.
I like her.
You don't want Chris. You can't sing.
Oh, come on. It's the only invite I've had this Christmas.
We'll sing at the end of the show now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glasgow. Now then, later on, we're all going to be singing. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem, the words will be on the screen.
But if you'd like to print them off, they're online for the very keen. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Sir David.
I pitched that too high.
You did okay there. Now, there's plenty of telly to watch over Christmas, including the one show Best of 2011 on December the 30th.
Yeah,
don't miss that.
good.
But there's only one man whose show will tell you how to traverse a glacier
Abseil down a waterfall.
or walk across an active volcano.
That man is Bear Grylls. On this Christmas, he takes Miranda Hart right to the edge.
Doing great. Keep gripping the hand.
Honestly, I'm having a complete out-of-body experience. I cannot believe that I'm doing this. I know this is normal for you, and it must be really weird that someone is so scared, but it's literally my worst nightmare.
Rather than
Very good. Rather Miranda than us. And Bear Grylls is here with us this evening. Chief Scout as well, my friend.
That's right.
Perfect. So David Jason, Bear Grylls, Sir David Jason.
Yeah, hello, nice to see you. Yeah,
So Miranda isn't the only celeb you've done this to. Which celebs have you taken out? Where have you taken them? What have you put them through?
Well, we've done a few of them now. We took Will Ferrell to the Arctic, which was an adventure. We took Jake Gyllenhaal to Iceland, and then we've done these with Miranda in the Alps, and then Jonathan Ross took to the jungle a couple of weeks ago. So
Is he still there?
Do you know what? They did brilliantly though, and I think it's always scary to step out of your comfort zone that much and, you know, trust someone with your life. But they did brilliantly, so total respect. And I think the shows are great, so I'm really proud of this new series.
OK, so Miranda on Boxing Day. Now, what was her fear? When was she most out of her comfort zone? Because it was all about heights, wasn't it?
Well, she was out of her comfort zone the whole time.
Really?
And I think what's interesting is that normally you see these people like Miranda or Jonathan Ross and they're on the chat show or doing their sitcom, but you know, you see the real person when you're up mountains with someone, and she had a lot of fears, bless her. You know, she was very scared of heights, very scared of small places, very scared of big places.
You can't win!
But she did have a telltale sign. Whenever she got really scared, she'd break wind. So I always had a little warning that this was getting kind of scary for her. But, she was brilliant, you know, and total respect for her for doing it. She did some properly scary stuff, so she was...
All right, well, let's have a look at her close to the edge. Here we go.
OK, so put all your weight on the rope, lean right back. You're not going anywhere now because I've got you, okay? So lean right back. That's it. And now you can ease your arm up to the
Guys, I'll just
side.
say this. Just off camera. There's a very strong chance there's no way I'm doing that. And I'm not joking.
She does look scared.
Now, David, you love a bit of devil doing, don't you?
Yeah.
You're a big diver, aren't you?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to do what he does or go with him. I mean, he's terrifying.
That was the
isn't
next
he?
question, unfortunately.
No way, Pedro.
You've got more brain cells than me, that's why.
Well, exactly.
But you love diving, don't you? You've done
Oh
it-
yeah, diving is different from throwing himself out of aircraft and hurtling down and doing also and living off. What was that stuff you were eating last time I was watching? Oh, blimey, made me ill just to look at him. Oh, the stuff you eat.
Someone did complain, so they sat down to watch it and they had their dinner on their lap.
That was me.
And,
Idiot.
and in went a sort of raw goat testicle or something, and these people threw up on their dinner
Yeah,
and then
not
wrote to
surprised.
complain.
But I mean, David obviously doesn't want to do it. You're not interested, are you? But who would you like to get your hands on, Bear?
Well, we have got a kind of a hot list of.
Strictly's over. She's got to win something.
Next challenge.
Do you know, I'm going to keep it quiet because we have got a couple of great ones to announce soon. But I'm going to keep that.
Now, you love a parachute as well, and you live on an island. Well, David could fly you to your island, and you could parachute out of his helicopter because you're a qualified helicopter pilot, aren't you?
Yes, so are you, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, but it's your interview.
Oh, sorry. Okay. In that case, yeah. I'm just talking about that. The one thing that would interest me is the diving. I mean, that is one area where I do have a comfort in that is. It does push you a bit beyond your limits, and when you come face to face with certain creatures that I've come to face, not actors, I have to say, some actors I have, but no, that is intriguing and can give you quite a turn. But,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Bear, good luck with it.
Yes.
Thanks so much. Boxing Day, Channel 4.
I should be. Oh, where? Sorry.
Channel 4.
Channel 4 Boxing Day.
Sorry, don't worry, it's not up against you, we've checked.
You're not against?
No, don't worry.
All right, you're all right then. I'll watch you.
We're quite close, I think. But
Yeah. Look, you can record things so easily nowadays.
Yes.
Right, now they say a dog is for life, not just for Christmas, which means, in that case, the Sullivan family from the Brecon Beacons have just had enough puppies for 15 lifetimes.
Yeah. Are they not just any puppies? Oh, no. They're Dalmatian puppies, which is why we sent Lucy DeVille to meet them.
And they're mad.
Cruella DeVille, Cruella DeVille.
Now, you may have noticed that I've changed my image a little bit today, modelling it almost entirely on Cruella DeVille from 101 Dalmatians, that cold-hearted villainess who tried to round up all the Dalmatian pups and turn them into a new fur coat. Well, rest assured, this is almost entirely nylon, and the large litter of puppies that I'm on my way to see, well, they will only be stroked, cuddled and adored during this production. Come on, you nincompoop, I'm late! The tale of Pongo and Perdita and their spotty dotty pups being chased by Cruella's bad uns is undoubtedly a family favourite. The film helped to revolutionise animation when, in the late 1950s, Disney experimented with Xerox technology. This meant during production they didn't have to animate all of the dogs and all of the spots. That's quite enough of that. Ah, back to normal. Now, where are those puppies? Kay Sullivan's Dalmatian Pebbles had her first litter of pups just over a month ago. And from the look on Kay's face even now, it came as quite a surprise.
There they are. Oh, they're asleep. Oh my goodness, that was so cute. Tell me about what it was like when they were born.
And all of a sudden, one of the nurses come out with a box and she said, "We've got 15," and I was like in shock.
You're a very clever girl, aren't you? So what has life been like since the arrival?
Busy, chaotic, feeding all the time and cleaning all the time.
Joining in this Dalmatian caper, it's one-show vet Joe Inglis.
Oh, Joe!
Ah, Cruella.
Oh,
Lucy.
What have you come as?
Well, I've come as a character from the film, like you said.
Oh, we've done that bit. Come and see the Dalmatians anyway. Why are they the only sort of spotty dog?
Well, really, it's a fashion thing. I mean, originally, probably the first Dalmatians 300 or 400 years ago were a bit spotty, and someone thought, well, that looks nice. A lot of dogs around today are extreme versions of their original breed. And actually, it does have consequences for them today, because the genetics of the spots is in some way linked to one of their major health problems, which is deafness. Dogs which actually have bigger splodges of colour rather than little spots tend to have less hearing problems.
You've got to
And you can't take this one home.
I really
No.
want it. Oh, it's so sweet. Yes, you're great. Oh, look at that. And once I've let them out, it's just chaos. Who is this? Is he your special one? Well, the pups have made their evening viewing choice. Excellent decision, I think you'll agree. And we have found the 101 show Dalmatians.
Ah, cute. The family are still taking suggestions for names for the puppy, so go to the Facebook page and put your suggestion on there.
All right, now we want more of your full, smug, festive fridges. David, what do you have for us?
Oh, dear, look at this. I mean, you got enough here for a fortnight. That's Stephen from Liverpool.
Look how happy Stephen is, look. Double door fridge. Bear, what you have?
We've got the Wilsons in Derbyshire, Daisy and Jack. Wow,
Pretty
that
happy
looks
there.
tasty, yeah.
This isn't a fridge, it's a whole pantry. What do you think about that? That's from Ely McDonald. Now, you say there's too many biscuits here, don't you?
There's loads of biscuits.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because she's snowed in the Highlands. Actually, factually snowed in. Bless you.
So it is a white Christmas there, then.
Yeah.
This is Hayden and Lily. They both ate, but it's their birthday tomorrow. That's them with their mum, Karen, from Bognor Regis.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Send us more before the
Yeah,
end of the show.
more.
We'll show them for you. Time now for the last Foodie Friday of 2011. And to tell us what Jay Rayner's got for us, here's the Cardiff Polyphonic Choir.
The sun is shining, the trees are green, it's the middle of summer. But here, in deepest Derbyshire, there's a little bit of Christmas just around the corner. This is the Matthew Walker factory, the world's oldest Christmas pudding maker. They've been producing puds here since 1899, and today they supply over 70% of the UK market. That's around 19 million puddings a year, and the best puddings are made months in advance, which is why the team here do their Christmas cooking all year round. I've been in an awful lot of factories. This is the first one that's insisted on one of these, a beard snood. It's a good look, isn't it? Most of the puddings you see in your local supermarket are made here. You might think that all puddings taste the same, but the factory produces over 200 different varieties, something for everyone. General Manager Bill Mackey takes me on a tour. First stop, the mixing hall, where over 500,000 tonnes of vine fruits, including currants, raisins and sultanas, are used every year.
So we always start with vine fruit, because it's the largest quantity going into the Christmas pudding, and then that mixing bowl will generate its way down the room, having all the other dry ingredients added to it.
For many consumers, the most important ingredient in their Christmas pudding is the alcohol. This company uses over 1 million litres per year, making it one of the largest buyers of booze outside of the drinks industry.
The alcohol is a really important part of it, and you actually need quite strong flavoured alcohols to actually come through because they mellow with the fruit and the other contents.
Personally, I think the right liquor for a Christmas pudding is brandy. What do you think of that?
I agree. Brandy is the one that actually gives a flavour. So we're actually not buying the very finest of brandy because that's a very gentle flavour. We're actually buying sort of 5-year-old cognac here. That's actually still quite rough, and that's what you need to come through with all the other flavours it's competing with.
But the use of alcohol is not just about taste. It's an extremely effective natural preservative which kills bacteria. The traditional puddings have a shelf life of up to 4 years, whilst the alcohol-free variety keeps for only 6 months.
The first recipes for a Christmas pudding date back to the Middle Ages, but back then it was a savoury dish at one point, a kind of porridge with mutton or beef, and later a pudding with poultry, say partridge or pheasant. The Christmas pudding as we know it today comes back to the Victorian era, and as with so much at Christmas, we have Prince Albert to thank for it.
I've seen enough. It's time to get my hands dirty and make my very own one-show Christmas pudding.
I've decided to go with an orange theme. There'll be orange shreds, there'll be a little fresh mixed peel for a bit of zing, a few whole glacé cherries because I like them, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Though, as with any recipe, the important thing is not so much what to put in, but what to leave out. Bit of sherry, madam.
I get busy combining my selected ingredients with high hopes that it all comes together.
That is our one-show Christmas pudding, ready to go to the steamers.
Now my pudding's ready to be cooked. The factory uses a top-secret steaming process to cook the puddings.
My pudding will be steaming in there for about 3 hours. Now, normally you can eat them within about 12 hours of them having been steamed, but to get the full flavour effect, we're going to leave mine to mature for the best part of 4 months, which means my work here is done. I might as well push off.
When Christmas comes round, the flavours in our pudding will have fully matured, ready for us to tuck in.
And the bells are ringing out for Christmas Day.
So Santa J is here. It's the
I have a
moment of
present
truth.
for you,
Come
actually.
on, tell us.
Beard snood. You're
Beard
doing the
snood.
beard charity thing.
December beard.
Yeah, I'm appalling in them, so you can put one on.
There you go.
Not really. It's...
Like a very cold Santa.
Anyway, here is the Christmas pudding. Would anybody like to try some?
4 months in the waiting. Come on.
4 months in the waiting, so I'll hand it out.
David, you're a pudding man?
Yeah, I'll...
Pass the spoon back.
Try.
No, you have that one, David.
I'll have
You're
it
getting
then.
it.
All right.
What I'm hoping is that it's matured properly and you've got a real sort of depth of flavour there. See,
I mean, my experience of things being festering for 4 months is to be dangerous.
I wouldn't say this has been festering. It has been carefully designed in an artisanal manner to maximise its flavour.
It should be good, though, wouldn't it? With lots of nutrition. This should keep going for a while, wouldn't it? Yeah, lots of energy.
Well, I'm generally pretty wary of delicacies. I've been stung a few times, but actually this is amazing.
That is
well done.
gorgeous.
Wow.
Oh, that's
I've got to
nice.
say, that's gorgeous. I hate to say, but it's beautiful.
It's all right, isn't it?
Really
I've got
is,
the
yeah.
other one. It's coming home with me for Christmas Day.
Ooh. Now, you put an orange liqueur in this, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Can you put different liqueurs in different cherries?
You can put almost any liqueur in them. Basically, the alcohol acts as a preservative but also gives you flavour. And at the factory that I was just in, filmed, shown being in, they make them under any number of brands. You name the liqueur, they probably make a Christmas pudding full of it.
All right, now, even though this is 4 months old, in pudding terms, it's pretty much brand new. You have the oldest one in the world over here.
I'm thrilled by this. This Christmas pudding here was sent to the sailors in the Boer War in 1900.
Wow.
It's now in the collection of the National Museum of the Royal Navy. It was found knocking around the back of somebody's cupboard. And they sent it in. Miss Agnes Aggie Weston was known as the friend of the Navy. And she sent these out to sailors to look after them, to make sure they were well fed. But no booze. She was dry. Temperance. Believed in the temperance movement. So there's no alcohol. No alcohol.
All right. Well, the sailors, 1,000 of them, enjoyed that Christmas pudding in 1899. But how does the modern military provide Christmas to the troops?
Well, earlier today, Staff Sergeant Nick Saville, Master Chef at Camp Bastion in Afghanistan, showed the BBC's Caroline Wyatt around his kitchen. What are you doing?
Nothing.
If you think that cooking for your family and extended family is bad on Christmas Day, meet a man who is cooking for 5,000 people almost.
We'll be feeding around just over 4,000 through the main kitchen and 500 out in the forward operation bases. A couple of foreign officers that we have here will jump on a helicopter with the rations, fly out, drop it off. They'll have an hour window to feed, and then they'll get picked up and come back here. We're using just over 1,000 kilos of potatoes, which the guys will be prepping this afternoon. It's around 500 kilos of fresh carrots, around 750 kilos of sprouts.
You've got Christmas puddings.
Yeah, we've got about 40 boxes of these. They'll be receiving traditional roast turkey. We've got a chestnut and hazelnut stuffing, sausages, bacon, and all the traditional parts to go with that as well.
Do you dread Christmas Day or do you look forward to it?
No, we look forward to it. We're here to do a job, and that is to feed the guys. So we will always endeavour to serve the best possible end result. And if we can cheer them up by serving them a really nice Christmas dinner, then that's what we'll try to do.
And a very Merry Christmas to the Queen's First Dragoon Guards. And by the way, Jerry Rayner, star of this year's Christmas Celebrity Mastermind. It's on the 27th. 5:35, BBC One.
None of your rubbish.
And what's your chosen subject?
The musicals of Stephen Sondheim.
Get in. So posh. It's almost time for our Christmas carolling across the UK now.
Yes, but before that, we're off to a church in Leicestershire, which could be about to host us last Christmas. Leicestershire.
Okay.
Many of Britain's 40,000 churches are among the oldest buildings in the UK.
Keeping historical churches like this one looking beautiful can come at a great cost. Maintenance fees alone can run into hundreds of thousands of pounds.
And as traditional church attendance continues to drop, more and more churches are falling into ruin. In many cases, a drastic transformation is the building's only salvation. St James is the church of the quiet village of Ab Kettleby in Leicestershire. Built in the 13th century, it was in regular use until 4 years ago, when a large piece of plaster fell from the ceiling and narrowly missed the vicar.
A structural survey deemed it unsafe for regular use, and because the congregation was small, the diocese couldn't afford the cost of the repairs, and so the church had to close its doors, and it's remained derelict ever since. But before it becomes too dangerous to even enter in at all, we've invited the residents of Ab Kettleby to come together for what could be the very last Christmas carol service ever to be held in this 750-year-old church.
Architect Peter Rogan is part of the team responsible for monitoring the structural condition of the church.
So where's the piece of plaster that fell on the vicar?
The plaster fell from behind the pulpit up there. And fell down behind the vicar as he was in the middle of service, basically. The church was plastered with a hard Victorian plaster, and that cannot accept the movement. So basically, as the church is flexed on the clay soil, the plaster is worked loose and dropped off.
And how much does that cost to repair?
The total project cost is about £250,000.
With a small congregation, that must be very difficult to find.
Clearly, yes, for a small village, that's a lot of money to find.
So to make the church safe for our carol service tonight, we'll need to cordon off the back of the nave due to loose stonework in the tower. Check beneath the pews for rotten boards. And finally, as they'll be sat in the high-risk area, the vicar and choir will need to wear hard hats. Time to leave Peter to it and rustle up some help from the local village.
Hi there. 7 o'clock tonight, St James, we've got a carol service.
Right.
It could be the last service ever. Fantastic. 7 o'clock.
OK, thank you.
The church has no running water and no lavatories, so Elaine, who lives nearby, has opened her doors to anyone caught short. And with no heating, she's making a giant vat of mulled wine to keep everyone warm. The vicar of this churchless parish is Sue Patterson.
Is it a common problem in Great Britain that some of these medieval churches are now falling into disrepair?
Medieval buildings are no joke to look after. They're wonderful. You can create huge atmosphere. There's a strong sense of the presence of God. It's fantastic. I wouldn't swap it for anything. But they are a huge burden. Everyone thinks the government funds us, and that's actually not the case.
Is the church still relevant to the community?
Quite often, particularly in rural areas, the church is the only community building that you've got. People need somewhere they can go to. So more and more, we're reinventing the church, and we're putting it as a community resource.
We've got the church here for tonight. Would you be prepared to host it for us?
Oh, yes. But we are going to be wearing hard hats. If you see anything white falling, don't think White Christmas, just think run.
The sun is fading and it's time to start lighting and decorating the church. One of the locals has donated a Christmas tree to liven up the doorway and hide a rather large crack in the west window. Before long, the choir arrives and begins practicing. And soon enough, the first few villagers start to arrive.
Hi there.
Thank you very much.
Just take a seat. So this is Val, this is Mark. You guys got married here, didn't you? How long ago was that?
27 years ago.
A time when the bells of St James rang out regularly.
So this is Eddie. Eddie, can you remember the last time that you were in this church?
When I was christened.
You were the last one, so no other children got christened after you.
As the last of the congregation takes their places, it's a full house.
Ladies and gentlemen, this service is happening in a church which is structurally unsound. You may not have noticed, but the hard hats are here for a purpose, because we are sitting in the dangerous area.
It's easy to forget, but actually churches like this aren't just for Christmas. This is a place we come to declare our love. This is the place we come to remember those who've passed away. This is a place we come to name our children. But they're also the place that's the centre of the community and the place where we find faith. I hope this isn't the last service of this church. but I hope if it is, then at least we gave it a good send-off. Happy Christmas.
Well, here we are downstairs in the snow, and it's time for our carol
And
singing.
it really is snowing. You're not allowed to fake things on the BBC. Ask David Attenborough.
This is hard snow. It kind of hurts a bit. It's more like hailstones. Anyway, are we ready? OK, we've got Richard and Ella
We've got to say
first.
thank you to our guests.
Yeah, but we'll talk to the choirs first. Richard and Ella.
Well, because then we're going to go into the choir. So
All
let's
right,
talk to
then.
the guests
All
first.
right.
Thank you. This is David Jason.
Thank you.
Royal Bodyguard Boxing Day. Bear Grylls Boxing Day, Channel 4.
With Miranda Hart.
Snipsy Mastermind, day after.
And of course, Carol with the weather.
Carol with the weather the whole time.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Al.
OK, Richard and Ella. Now then, you're representing England in all of this.
Yeah.
Are you ready to do your best for us?
Yes.
Yeah, how did you meet?
At the competition.
Is it true you're getting married?
Maybe when we were a bit older.
Oh!
If you have me.
Who's your pal over here?
Now, this is Neil. You're leading the Welsh squad here.
Yeah,
You're finishing this whole thing off in style, Neil.
trying to.
Do you feel the pressure?
No.
It's not a competition. It's not the Rugby World Cup.
Right, the One Show is back live on Monday the 9th of January 2012, and if you can't wait till then, our best of is on December the 30th.
All right, should we get the whole country singing?
Yeah,
Merry
let's
Christmas
do it.
from Al, myself,
Merry Christmas.
Matt Baker, all the gang here at the One Show. Northern Ireland, take it away.